Did you catch it? The moment the camera panned past the door. Welcome to Hero Optimization. And in one sentence, Cipher made it clear this isn't a class. This isn't mentoring. This isn't about training the next generation of heroes. This was a lab, and every student sitting in that room. Test subjects with pretty uniforms. And the most terrifying part, they didn't even realize it. The blood test, tell me, how do your powers work? Cipher smiles, like a teacher asking what 2 plus 2 is. Marie answers nervously, I can move blood. Seems simple. Until Cipher presses. But which part of the blood? Plasma, platelets, hemoglobin. That right here is the line that sends a chill down your spine. Because that's not a proud professor guiding a student. That's a scientist running a dissection. And if your body is your power, then knowing how to slice it apart is knowing how to own you. Powers are prison keys. So here's the rhetorical trap. Are the students really learning how to master themselves? Or are they just handing Cipher the keys to their cages? If you think it's training, why does it feel more like interrogation? If you think it's education, why is Cipher dangling a literal button out of reach? Taunting, go press it, if you survive. The buth'll switch. And let's not ignore the comedy that slipped through the horror, Jordan nervously admitting that switching genders comes down to. I just clench my butthole and it happens. A pause. Can you imagine handing that line into your biology teacher at school? Yes, Mrs. Patel, I control my DNA by flexing my glutes. But here's the twisted genius of this moment. Cipher laughs along, not because it's funny, but because the joke hides the fear. They don't know what's happening in their own bodies, and Cipher does. You're not students. You're soldiers. Cipher's voice turns colder, sharper. His language slips. Rankings matter. This school has no place for those who cannot hack the pressure. You are not students. You are soldiers. There it is. Let that sting for a second. All those posters, bright gowns, university branding, it's a lie. A mask. A laboratory pretending to be a college campus. And the kids, they're not learners. They're experiments, soldiers in waiting. The button in Victor Cipher sets the rule, want this class to end. Just push the button. Easy. Except between the button and the students, Victor. Hammer in hand, mad grin on his face, taunting them into combat. Let's be real. How is this schoolwork? Push one button to graduate. Only if you survive fighting a half-god with a sledgehammer fetish. So again, I ask you, is this training or culling? Not your lab rats. Marie pushes through, she gets the button, gets it done. And how does Cipher respond? Not with praise, not with empathy, but with cold calculation. The key to any successful experiment is establishing a baseline. Read that again. Baseline, like the Guardians or Petri dishes. And when Marie cries out, "We're not your lab rats," his answer? A blank look, a shrug, and the casual announcement that Lisa has been transferred to performing arts. Performing arts? Translation: useless in war, throw her away. And pause right here. Because if you're not subscribed, you're going to miss the forbidden layer just beneath this scene. The connection to Project Odessa, the truth lurking behind rankings. And how Cipher isn't optimizing anyone, he's sorting them. Subscribe right now. Because this isn't about GPA, it's about survival rate. And once you see what's really going on under Cipher's smile, you'll never look at the Guardians the same again. The transferred death sentence. Lisa isn't promoted. She isn't rewarded. She isn't learning to optimize. She's discarded. The weak don't climb ranks here. They're eliminated. Tell me that doesn't sound closer to child soldiers than students. And Cipher has the gall to say this with a calm face. None of your power sets are fixed. Pressure will make you evolve, or break. And that's the final dagger. Cipher isn't training heroes. He's building weapons. He doesn't need all of them to survive. He just needs the strongest to crawl out of the furnace. So ask yourself, did Mary just win? Or did Cipher's experiment just prove his point about her potential? We'll break open the secret truth of rankings, soldiers, and Project Odessa's shadow. And why Lisa's transfer proves this so-called college is really something far darker. So let's zoom back into the obsession Cipher hammered on rankings. He doesn't care if you save civilians or learn history. Your GPA doesn't matter. The only thing Cipher worships is the leaderboard. The game of life. Cipher's entire experiment is built around one goal: take every single student and break them. Those who fail, gone. Transferred to performing arts, comedy club, or more likely, locked in a dark file cabinet never to be spoken of again. And those who pass, they're forged into exactly what Vought wants: streamlined weapons. It's not education, it's natural selection. Darwinism with capes and compound V. Could you survive? Let's test you for a second. Imagine yourself sitting in Cipher's seminar. Option A. The rankings motivate you. You push forward, prove yourself, climb. Option B7. You cave, you freeze mid-fight, and the transfer letter is waiting by lunchtime. Be honest in the comments. Which one are you? A or B? So me, dead before the button test. That hammer dude would crush me before I even found the exit door. Transferring straight to janitorial services. The Lisa lesson. Cipher literally used Lisa as a live example. Didn't hesitate. She spoke out, failed to impress and pop. Transfer papers on the table. But that's what makes this sinister. That's indoctrination wrapped up as education. Students thought they were in class. Cipher showed them they were in a coliseum. The Odessa filtration, and here's the part the show only hinted at: rankings are not about who's popular. They're Cipher's filtration system. Project Odessa, decades ago, struggled with one key factor: survivability. Not everyone lived through Compound V trials. High failure. High body count. So what do you do if you're Cipher, holding Odessa's playbook? You build a live machine that tests survival in real time. Rankings, win or wash out, live or vanish. Every rank up isn't just prestige. It's Cipher noting which students can endure pressure strong enough to twist DNA into weapons. And every transfer isn't demotion. It's disposal. So when Cipher smirks and says, "None of your power sets are fixed. You can all level up under the right amount of pressure," do you hear a teacher? Or do you hear a scientist planning to break his toys until only one or two don't snap? Would you obey Cipher? Here's the game. Cipher orders you into the arena. One button. One hammer god blocking the way. Do you run forward and fight with everything, hoping rankings reward you? Do you resist, refuse to play, and risk transfer? Or do you pull a wild card and punch Cipher in the face? What would you do? Drop it below. Real talk. Cipher is making the viewer ask the same moral puzzle the students are trapped in, and none of this should surprise us. Remember the woods in Season 1? Students tortured under the guise of research. Or the Supe sent quietly to experiments when they didn't rank high enough. Nothing about Godolkin was ever educational. From day one, it was a lab. Cipher's just the most honest mask yet. He says, optimization, instead of weaponization. If Cipher had truly tested me, forget Homelander level comparisons. Forget Marie's blood bending. I'd be bottom of the barrel, teaching drama class as Mr. Theater Kid Frin 47. Performing arts and crafts classes, maybe, that's my ranking destiny. Cipher wouldn't even look at me twice. The soldier language, but note this: Cipher slips when he says, "You are not students. You are soldiers." That isn't motivational fluff. That's reprogramming. Students aren't dreaming of ranking charts anymore. They're imagining boot camp. And what happens when a generation no longer calls themselves heroes, but soldiers? It means Cipher won. It means Odessa is alive. So what if Cipher's seminar isn't about leveling them up at all? What if it's about identifying which bodies can survive, and quietly reporting those results back to Vaught's Odessa files? Cipher's favorite: look at the class roster. Marie, Jordan, Sam, Emma. Who does Cipher obsess over most? Marie, the only living Odessa survivor. A Jordan, a literal body shift anomaly. A Sam, violent yet trainable brute weapon. Emma, unpredictable but adaptable. Drop your pick below. Which one do you think Cipher's really watching? And here's the kicker: there's no wrong answer. Because odds are he's watching everyone. So let's hang here. Cipher's classroom isn't a classroom. The button wasn't a test, it was a setup. Lisa's transfer wasn't relocation, it was betrayal in broad daylight. And the rankings aren't GPA, they're a filtration for Odessa. Sound what happens next? Cipher said, "I'll be monitoring you all closely." There isn't much I don't see. So how deep does his monitoring really go? How much does he already know about Marie's secret? And how far will he push the Guardians before one of them breaks beyond repair? Will reveal Cipher's surveillance game, the soldier agenda, and why the seminar proves Odessa never died.